Hi. Okay, here we are back at the farm, and just giving you a brief tour of the tree. All things to do with trees it's been this week. The last couple of weeks actually, since you saw Avatar, and I saw Avatar, which had to do with the Tree of Life. Home tree. And then we have a tree down over our driveway. As we came back home from...
Totally solid tree.
Yes.
ED.
That's what I said to you. It was a tree of righteousness. It was alive. It wasn't
It was
dead.
a red interior tree,
Yeah.
white gum.
Very hard.
Tough. There's
And
no way it could break at that position.
No, it was
Yet
very
did.
heavy. I tried to pick it up, remember? I thought...
Yeah.
My first thought was it was dead, so we don't need the rope to move it. We could shift it. No! The car had to tow it away. Anyway, so we've just been through the solar eclipse. Number 10.
It's in the centre of the eclipse now.
Yeah.
Right in the centre.
Right in the centre now. Okay,
Yeah.
that's right. And number 1077, which is happening at the latitude of 44.14 degrees north and 9,110 kilometres in a direct line north from Ryan Snell Street home. Sacred place. And it looks to me like it's right over Japan in that area.
That's right. So the second eclipse is going to be July the 11th this year.
Yeah, 7/11.
It'll be also at the same latitude but south this time.
44.14.
So it's
degrees
giving us a
south.
message. First off, to the equator it's 4918, which is Mushallam, found in 1 Chronicles 5:13, and that is full of sacred numbers. And but in particular the number 4414, which you can explain.
Yes, well, there's one verse in the Bible that has those numbers. I'll talk about the gematria in a minute, but there's two verses actually we're going to be talking about here. First verse in the Old Testament is Isaiah 44:14, which is the key to everything that's being revealed in the videos that were a surprise to me. And I was very surprised. It was lovely. It was exciting. Now, when things happen to us, there's a reason for it. So that tree being down, you know, I said to you, you said it has to be something to do with Isaiah, and I'm saying to you, well, because I've christened that driveway down there the highway to heaven, the highway of the redeemed, which is referred to in Isaiah, and I'm thinking, you know, the tree is alive, so it was a tree of righteousness laying across the highway to heaven. Okay, so it's going around in our brains. And then, of course, when Brian goes home and he puts it all together without telling me. He normally phones me and says, miracles, miracles, but this time he didn't, just put it out there. And, okay, I'm going to read to you two versions. The original, of course, from the King James, original, 1611.
Which is the only one that's got gematria.
Yes, yeah, it's the and I'll give you an example of why they've changed these things, because in it is the key, the answer's right there. And then I'll read to you from the Spirit-filled New King James Version that a lot of people around the world are reading from, and you tell me the difference. You already know the name that has come forth, Asherah. We were talking today about how to arrange our names. What do we decide? Janelle, Margaret, Martha, Asherah, or we could go Asherah, Martha, Janelle, Margaret.
All royal names, you've got the whole list.
Yes, you know, like what is it? Prince Charles has Arthur,
Oh,
George, and
yes,
Henry, Michael, and all the rest
You've
of
got
it.
Lucifer in there somewhere.
Yes, yeah. Anyway, back to business. Isaiah 44, I'll read to you from King James, original. He heweth him down cedars, and taketh the cypress and the oak, which he strengtheneth for himself among the trees of the forest. He planteth an ash, and the rain doth nourish it.
So the ash is last.
Yes.
He's making a reference to the ash being the tree that's nourished.
Yes.
So
Because
it's meaning now.
You've hewn down. I mean,
Across
that
the
tree
street.
was hewn down across
That's
the
right.
driveway. It's come down. But now, in the last, it's about planting an ash, and the rain doth nourish it. And I was reminding Brian that everywhere I've gone, I call for rain and rain comes.
Well, it will.
I prayed for my sister's property years ago when I first arrived back from North America because it was really dry, it was drought. I walked all over that property and I said, I don't care what's happening in the rest of but this property will remain green and it will have more, the dams will always be full. And it always has been for years in spite of the drought. And here I said, okay, we need rain. They've had more rain here, I think, than they have for quite a while.
Tanks are full.
Anyway.
Dams are full.
But now, I'll read to you from the New King James Version because guess what? It says, he cuts down cedars for himself and takes the cypress and the oak. He secures it for himself among the trees of the forest. Wait for it. He plants a pine, and the rain nourishes it.
And that has no gematria at all except in English gematria. But it's all to do with Hebrew. So there's no Hebrew gematria at all. And that's why they've changed it.
Now,
they've realised the King James Bible is a trap. The 1611 is a trap.
Yeah. And it was I remember in my studying of all this, it was 1871 when they held their council with the likes of Westcott and Hort, who were reportedly homosexuals.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. And they decided that they needed to bring about changes to the Word of God, the authorised, original, 1611. Right. And that's, from that time forward, all their revisionist Bibles.
That's right.
And there's hundreds of them, literally hundreds, all of them crap.
Now gematria.
The gematria,
4414.
4414. There's one verse in the Bible, New Testament, Matthew 26, verse 66. Listen to this. I'll read to you. I'll read to you first from the authorised, the original. What think ye? They answered and said, he is guilty of death. Now this is in Matthew where we're talking about the high priests. I'll read to you the verse before so that you can get a gist. Then the high priest tore his clothes, saying, he has spoken blasphemy. What further need do we have of witnesses? Look, now have you heard his blasphemy? And then he says, this is 66 in the new translation. What do you think? They answered and said, he is deserving of death. And of course it's referring to Jesus. He was speaking
Yahweh in the flesh.
Yahweh in the flesh, exactly. He was speaking the truth. You've got to remove the truth. He's deserving of death. He irritated the crap out of them then, and they had to put him to death to get rid of him. Shut him up. Shut this guy up. He's revealing.
And they were tricked into doing it because it had to occur according to Isaiah prophecy.
Yes. Yes. And the crowd was shouting when Pontius Pilate, I mean that guy, I actually feel for that guy on the one hand. I mean, he's been thrown in this position of not finding you guilty of anything. And he's he's kind of scratching his head saying, well, you know, this guy's innocent. I wash my hands. I wash my hands. And so who do you want me to set free on that day? And so the poor guy, he's hearing Barabbas, the crowd's at Barabbas, Barabbas, Barabbas.
Which means?
Which of course meant son of Abba. Abba meaning father, and it was your nickname, Barabbas, son of. So the crowd's wanting Jesus to be released, and they're calling out his nickname, if you like, Barabbas, Barabbas. But the Jews, the Pharisees, the same ones, the same dudes as today, were there, set up some criminal, murderer, thief, called Barabbas, toothless dude, ugly as can be, in the prison. So Pontius Pilate saying, you know, is there somebody here called Barabbas? There is. They were quick to say there is. They go and get him. And that guy thought all of his Christmases had come at once, obviously. He was as guilty as can be, so they set him free. And he said nothing. Said not a word.
Got to go to the cross.
Got to go.
You wouldn't be sitting here today if it wasn't for that.
That's right. It had to be then, because it was all about sun, the moon, the stars, and the movement of the Earth forward in time at 69,000 kilometres per hour, so that we could back here today talking about what we are on this day now.